Welcome to another dope episode of HipPodHedz. This is episode 41 on our quest to hit the episodes to coincide with the years of hip hop. Be sure to like, subscribe, share the show on all the podcast platforms. We have a special guest, my collaborator from way back in the Daywalkers days, and she's hopped on a nice new project this year. Um, we're gonna get into it, and I don't know, Rosalie. It feels like you've always been a driving force for music every time I get to connect with you. So it's just a blessing.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm glad to be here, and I'm always glad to work with you, Jason.
Yeah, no
Welcome to the
doubt.
show.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome. So I wanted to give you a quick intro here because I think I'm not sure if Novak knew this. So, like in the high school days, I know you're rounding out your college years now, but you wrote an original song called Iron Chain, and it was recognized by the Hamilton folks. So, out of that, it was sort of like a competition, I think, right? And you were able to perform that in front of a crowd of more than 2,000 people on the Chicago stage of Hamilton. How was that experience?
That was the coolest thing ever. I mean, being like 15 years old and then getting to hug Angelica Schuyler after like singing
Oh
on the stage.
man.
It was a lot of fun. And I think the reason why I like to think about that so much is just because it was a really pivotal moment for me performing in front of that many people. It just made me realize I really want to do this.
That's nice. That's nice. I think even after that performance, the Times Square Chronicles compared your voice to Sara Bareilles, the Grammy Award winner. Um, for me, like every time I collaborate with you with music, like for some reason I think Alicia Cara, and then I compare some of your tracks to other folks, and I get different responses. Like I get like Nora Jones sometimes. Like, do you get
Oh,
like
that's
different
cool.
random like comparisons in general?
I do get a lot more random ones. I feel like now since I've been kind of shifting what music I've been performing, I've been hearing a lot of Hayley Williams from Paramore, and that just makes me so happy.
Haley's nice. You've seen her perform too, right? Paramore? Have you ever
Yeah,
seen Paramore? Right?
I saw her twice. I saw her with Foster the People and I saw her with Fall Out Boy.
Wow.
They're really good
Um,
live.
yeah, I would imagine that.
I
So,
mean, your voice. Your voice does. It's almost like like the first time I heard you on that Control song, and I
Oh,
was
thank
sitting
you.
there. Yeah, it's like it was stuck in the back of my mind. Like you're walking around the rest of the day and you're singing that song. I can't sing, but I hear your voice singing the words and everything like that. I mean, it's you really hit that song pretty much. The notes are nice. Yeah, it's a cool. And even if you just sing on the instrumental on that note, it's awesome. The way Control is laid out. I love that song.
Thank you. It's very sweet.
yeah, shout out to that Daywalkers track with
It's a
H.E.R
good
on it
one.
as well. So, dig it. Like, I know you love making music and whatnot, but I know your true passion for pursuing the the music scene is kind of like to see people smile, make them feel happy through your performance. So, like, um, like you wanting to write and like connecting with people through their hearts and just making sure you're inspiring. I just love that mindset. I i
Thank you.
wanted to kind of like ask because I haven't like connected with you in a while. Like, have you been still parlaying in like other instruments like guitar and keyboard and whatnot?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot more guitar. I'd say my rhythm guitar playing is pretty decent. I've been trying to teach myself more lead guitar just because the songs that I've been listening to are pretty lead heavy, like The Strokes. That's one of my favorite bands. But
Oh man.
Yeah.
mainly just rhythm guitar. I haven't touched a keyboard in so long. I really want to though.
That's dope though. But
Very dope.
so like the project this year with Banff Brett, right? Like,
Yes, my boy.
I
I love
know
him so much.
the After Laughter like project, right? Like, we're gonna get into some of your lyrics because I feel like every time I take a slice of one of your bars, it's almost like a poetry scene, right? And then
Oh,
like
thank you.
I have to kind of like unpack it and unfold it, and then I think your voice is very disarming because sometimes there's a lot of like hidden meanings going on if you don't pay attention to what you're actually saying. So like, yeah, I don't know, like say a word about like the project because you're like on half of the album, so I feel like it's just
Yeah.
much yours as it is the lead artist.
Oh, thank you. So Banff Brat, I met him in high school. We were on poetry slam team together, actually, which is probably why it feels so poetic. Um, Usually when we do, sorry, whenever we do hang out, we try to just bounce creative ideas to each other. He's a really talented artist, and it's always really great working with him. But specifically for After Laughter, I'm pretty sure he did all the lyrics. It's been a long time since we recorded. We just released it, but we've been working on this for so long. I'm pretty sure he did 100% of the lyrics that I sing. And he's a really great poet. I mean, we used to do Louder Than a Bomb, Chicago. It was it's made by it's the ones that do After School Matters for Chicago kids. It's a really great program for just Chicago kids to just be able to put themselves out there and express whatever they're feeling, whatever they're going through on a stage. Um, and Van Fratt's just a really good poet. So everything that I sing is just him talking about what he's been going through, what he's been seeing, and it was just a really great honor to be able to sing those lyrics that he wrote.
That's dope. That's dope. So man, not knowing that he's known you since high school, that definitely clears up some of my loose threads. Cause like the way that you sing it, I could just imagine that you were the one writing it because I think like he knows your
Oh,
vibe.
thank you.
So it's kind of like, wow, that's kind of like interesting to hear that he probably kind of was trying to tap into some of your mythos as I like to call it. Cause like in the Daywalkers days, I feel like everything you wrote, I either latched on to or reacted to. So like one of the bars from the album that kind of struck me, like I think I was telling you that Cuts and Bruises track,
Yeah, it's one of my
like
favorites.
that's definitely like a standout for me, right?
Mhm.
So like Cuts and Bruises on my skin, I just like the way they blend. I've been wearing myself thin. I hide them from family friends. They don't know where I've been. Like just paraphrasing there, but
Mhm.
man, I feel like some of these songs kind of like take different directions, came different like I don't know, sort of like different audio change ups. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, like why is that track sort of like one of the standout tracks for you?
It was a standout track for me because Um, well, Banff Brat is primarily a hip hop artist, and I feel like with that track specifically, it was getting more into alternative territory, and both me and him were so excited to work on the track. And at that time, he knew I was exploring more alternative genres, and he's like, "I have to get you like to sing on this track. Like, what do you think?" I did create the melody for this part. A lot of stuff I sing, I create the melody, but I didn't create the lyrics. Um, but I just kind of heard it. I was like, "This sounds so cool. Like, let me see what I could come up with." And then I think the reason why it stands out to me so much is because it's my favorite melody that I've created on the project. And he was just really excited to hear it. And it just made him inspired to write those lyrics. So it's really cool whenever we collaborate on all the songs on the album, but primarily this one, it just kind of felt like my baby because it's my favorite melody I wrote for the
I
album.
mean, your I mean, your melody is what brings the words to life, pretty much in that situation. It's almost like the words are anything about the melody. It's like it's your
Yeah.
presentation that elevates the words of what he's writing on paper.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just love that your brain usually goes for melody first because like when I look at your body of work, whenever I step back, I always think about the message and the lyrics. But I think you kind of approaching it like from a musician standpoint. Like I think I don't know, I might be like
No,
oversimplifying it, but I
you're
feel like
totally
you're
right.
kind of like thinking about how it gels first before you even write it. Even though me, I would probably do the inverse of it.
No, musicians are very different. I know so many people who write the lyrics first and then apply chords and then a melody. I know people who have a melody in their head, like, oh, I gotta like record this melody, I'll find lyrics to it later. Musicians are very different, but I think it's really beautiful how we could all just come together and make something so great, no matter what the process is.
So
It
like,
makes sense 100% those age in that situation because like I go back to other songs that you did, Rosalie, like you think about Bound off the Daywalkers days. You know, you think about
Yeah,
that melody is it's haunting. You hear it and you go like you know that's what I was trying to explain earlier. Your musicality is what really brings everything to light. You know, it's the voice, the musicality, and it's the presentation that pretty much hammers out the head at that point in time.
thank you.
yeah, that jam was just you. I would definitely love to kind of see some sort of like EP or project just featuring just you, because like, um, I don't know, like my ear like would love to hear something like that. So that was just beautiful. To kind of riff off what Novak was just saying, like I feel like whenever there's a track, sometimes you'll take it in different directions with your voice. So do you feel like it's sort of a challenge to kind of like change it up with the beat? You know what I mean? Like as far as like, do you feel like you always have to go with the beat, or do you feel like I want to like find my own lane in the melody and my own melody and kind of match it up with, you know, what the beat is going for?
I usually go based on the beat, and that's kind of been, I feel like is the hardest part of writing a melody for me. Whether it doesn't matter what genre the song may be in. I've had trouble with both alternative rock or hip hop tracks trying to find a melody because the beat is either really powerful. It's like I feel like it's a little overbearing and I can't think of anything because I'm just so focused on how cool it may sound. I think that's the biggest challenge for me, but I try my best.
I dig it. So look, there's another track that kind of like stood out for me on the Bamf Brad album,
Mhm.
and the bar on that one was the what is this one? The one heart, one soul shared between us both. That's the love I want to unfold, but I can't be here if I feel controlled.
Yeah, that was one of his really great love songs. I really like that one a lot. He wrote all those lyrics. Um, I think he made the melody for them too. I'm having a little trouble remembering, but
Right?
um, it was just he usually writes a lot of songs about he's Van Fret is like his own artist. I'm probably getting this a little wrong. From what I remember, he told me he writes a lot of songs about his emotions, and this was I think it was one of the first times where he like wrote a love song, and it was just really powerful, and I was really happy to sing those really beautiful lyrics.
That's nice. I mean, like with somebody with that MC name, and I don't know if I ever really got clarified what the BAMF stands for. I'm assuming it is badass motherfucker. That's my assumption. I'm not sure.
I hope it's badass, mother. It could be big ass. We don't know.
I've never asked him. I believe he told me it was like his tag, but that's probably what
Oh,
I
dig
would
it.
hope it is.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool. Um, I mean, he's a badass motherfucker though. I can attest. He's great.
But I mean, like, I think one of the bars in a different song, it sounded like he was saying baddest. So that's what made me like second guess, like, is it actually BA, or, you know, is he the baddest? It's whatever. Like, but the reason why I'm bringing up like the pronoun, if it is a pronoun, like, um, yeah, I mean, I think it's nice that he wants to tap into like love songs and, you know, do different like moods, because like it definitely is a moody album, but it
Hmm.
definitely like it stays with you, like, you know, you walk away from the story and there's still some other things going on. So like the other bar that I could have swore you wrote this, I'm trying to think if this is the last song, but this is the last like ending that
Hmm.
I always think about when I think of walk away from that album is tears seal up the letter from me. You're doing better than me, right? It's like just the
Yeah.
image of like somebody crying and that being what closes up the envelope of a letter. Like say more about that song, I guess.
Yeah. So since how do I put this? The way how Band Brat kind of envisioned After Laughter, he literally coming from his mouth, he said that this was his passion project. That he was just really excited to write all the emotions that he was feeling after having experienced everything, which is why it's called After Laughter. Um, So when he was able to just write all these really emotional lyrics, like, yeah, like I'm sealing up this letter with my tears, like, I've been going through it. Um, it was just really cool to read. I mean, I know I keep saying this a lot, but he's just a really great poet, and you could really see it whenever he produces any of his songs and you really look into the lyrics. I wish I wrote that, but I didn't. He's really talented, and I'm just it's a total privilege to be able to collaborate with him.
There's a lot of emotion of the After Laughter album. And you think about it, like it's almost like the roller coaster ride of a relationship, the highs, the
Hmm.
lows, the end of the relationship, the should I leave this person? And like, your voice on those tracks, like, you think about the one that really got me is Light Up My World. Light Up My
I love
World,
Light Up My World.
man, that track is really nice because it's like there's joy that still comes in, even though he's kind of in pain a little bit on the album. You get the idea of that he's healing, then he get you guys get back to one again, then you break up again, then you love him again. So there's so much. It's like hot and cold. The album is hot and cold. It's very moody, but it's a good moody. If I'm driving around late at night, that's an album that makes you think about life and relationships and everything.
Yeah, I didn't get to collaborate on every part of his track, but from what I understand, all the songs are about love, and I specifically with Light Up My World, he talks about a lot about his family and making his immigrant parents proud. Like that's
Mhm.
such a big part of why he does his music, and it was just really great to be able to see like cuts and bruises from romantic love, feeling pressured from family love. It's just a really it's a great album.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't peeped it yet.
Hmm.
Because like I don't want to paint this picture like he's some emo rapper because he's not. Like
No, he's not
he's
an
got
emo rapper,
grime,
but
he's got streetness,
he
like
does.
there's a lot going on. Like I hear like so many different elements of hip hop and trap and everything just kind of like
Is
swirling
that
in.
tattoo real on the album cover?
Uh, I'm not sure. I wasn't there when he took the picture.
Okay, and you just another picture for
He
me or another
he
like
he
myth
just
because
he showed me. I
I
was like,
was
oh, that's sick. I didn't think to ask.
I was like, wait a second, is that Rose? Because she's holding the
Yeah. I
roses.
wonder. That's what I was
No,
going to ask
Rosalie, is it?
sorry.
you.
But the
Hey,
the 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 tat picture, I think he has on. It might
uh,
be on Spotify. Maybe there's like a zoom up of it,
it's
and
on
I was like,
Spotify. Holding the
right, right.
roses, and like whose hand is that holding the roses? That real? That's a lot of imagery in that tattoo picture.
He's just the baddest. I don't know what more to say. But yeah, it is on Spotify.
I respect
Um,
it.
I think one of his friends did make the picture. I'm not sure if he got it tattooed, but I should ask. A lot of the relation between me and Bam Pratt is just like, hey, like I did this thing. It's like, no way, that's so cool. Like we don't really ask any more questions like, oh, like that's sick. We just vibe. We're like, that's good for you, buddy. I feel like.
I respect it because I
Yeah,
think when I first saw your collabs in that with him, maybe it was like 2 years ago off the
Yeah.
was it the Mellow Blue project,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that definitely I was like, man, Rosalie's like tapping into different like caverns here. Cause I know like I always
Thank
know you
you.
had that rock side to you, the punk group that you collaborate with, but like for you to kind of like be able to like be a spark for other artists in that way,
Oh,
like that
thank
that kind of
you.
like that kind of was nice that y'all came back, y'all came back to kind of like repeat the recipe of that one. Cause I think you were on two tracks on that album, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was
Trying
like
to
an EP,
remember.
I think.
It was an EP. Malibu was really, really
Right.
good. It's been so long. I still remember like the melody, but I remember when he asked me to be on Malibu for the first time. I was really excited because I hadn't been on many things at that point, and obviously he was one of my best friends from high school. So I was like, "You're finally." Oh, it's Another Day. I was like, "You're finally releasing music. That's so cool." Um, but yeah, Another Day is my favorite one that I sang on because I did write the lyrics for that one,
Oh,
and it was
dope.
my first time really like tapping into something that I felt really confident in putting out there. because I have collaborated with Daywalkers and such, and that was really awesome. It was really great to work with the both of you, but I was never as confident in the melodies that I produced. They sounded great. I look back and I'm like, I was thinking about it way too hard. We all did so well together. I was 15 then, 15 or 16, which like being at that age, you're never, I feel like you're never really, or at least personally me, I never really felt confident 100% in what I was doing. But when he sent me the demo for Another Day, the lyrics just kind of flowed naturally and the melody did, and it was the first time I really felt confident in something I made. So it's cool.
Oh, I dig that. I love it. So, since you invoked the Daywalkers, I did have some bars I wanted to kind of like get your reaction to because you wrote it 15, 16-ish as you mentioned. So like
Mhm.
I'm wondering um if there's something brewing beneath the surface. So like what was this one that I loved? Um Ocean eyes, open arms, what I disguise as your firearms. Words like ammo, full on blow, not the first time I should have known. So like I don't want to pigeonhole you like every time you're writing something, it's sort of like some weepy lyric. Cause I think like it might have just been the vibe you're on that day. Do you remember that one
Yeah, I
and
do
what was going
remember.
on?
I very much remember that one.
And
It
I'm not
actually
here to
sounds
spill the tea or nothing.
no,
So
no, no,
you just
no,
divulge
no,
as
no.
much as you want.
This is 15-year-old Roseli T. It's not really important. Um,
Statute of
but
limitations up.
it's really nice that you brought that up. It actually the lyrics are actually a lot better than I because I knew the lyrics, but just hearing someone else say it, I was like, oh, that sounds a lot better than I thought. So it's just really nice. But yeah, that's just about um failed friendships, I guess, in high school. I feel like those friendships always really hit hard. Um, Girls can be a little mean in high school sometimes, and that was kind of what happened with me and an old friend. It's all good now, obviously. I'm 21, but at the time, I just really needed to talk about it, and I thought that music would be a really great outlet for me to just channel that positively.
Respect that. I know Novak might be going through some of those emotions with his daughter right now in his household.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah.
So it's tough being a teenage girl. It's one of the roughest spots you could be in.
I try to simplify it sometimes. I always go like, what do you care about what they think and what they're doing? But you're right. I mean, teenage girls can be very mean. So,
Hmm.
I coach them in basketball and hear some of these conversations. I'm like, you need therapy at the way they read each
Yes.
other and they attack certain angles that guys would never attack. You know what I mean? And and I started thinking about like most of the girls on that team sing all the time. So there's a lot of musicality on the basketball team. I've been in practice, I hear people harmonize, and I'm like, we're playing basketball right now. Why are you guys singing? So yeah,
They're trying to get through it.
everybody's an inner artist, especially trying to get through our basketball. They're singing like you mentioned Hamilton. That's
Hmm.
like that soundtrack, for the generation of kids today, your generation, everybody's constantly singing Hamilton songs.
Yeah.
If you could do a cover of any Hamilton song for Lin Manuel in person, what would that song be?
Oh my gosh. Either Burn or Satisfied. I think Burn would probably suit my voice better, but Burn's a really great song, and I would love to sing that for him.
I can see that.
Yo, that's a good one. Wait, have you seen Hamilton in person, Novak?
I have. I've seen
Nice.
it. I saw it in New York City. I
Ooh,
saw Lynn in New York City.
Get out for
Yeah,
real.
that's
I saw that one.
wild.
Yeah, my wife talked me into it. I wanted to go see. I was going out there just to chill, and she's just like, "I want to see Hamilton." I'm like, "All right, I'm going to a Knicks game." So I ended up enjoying Hamilton more than the Knicks game, but I won't tell her that because I don't want to get a satisfaction that I enjoyed the play. But
Oh.
I mean, Hamilton's awesome. I mean, I still remember like I saw it in Chicago too. In Chicago, we had trying to think his name right now that stood in because like they keep changing the cast right now. I would say like in that situation, I mean Lin Manuel was awesome. I would say like Skylar, no, Skylar. I will say that the person who had the Skylar role, she was on the soap opera originally. She killed that
Oh,
role, and a lot of those people were actors and actresses before they were on the Hamilton staff. So I would say, like, it was great. I mean, I would say, like, I enjoyed. I enjoyed the ten. I would say my favorite was probably the Commandments. That version of the Ten Commandments, man, was awesome. The way he put it down, the musicality on that, and I loved. I love the room where it happens. That's pretty much the theme
that
that
was
we
really
use at
good.
work. Like, people always complain about why I'm not in the decision making process. Like, you need to be in the room where it happens. So we use that term all day at work.
So that's a dope question, Novak, because like I would have wanted Rosalie to say satisfied because of like I just want to
Uh,
hear her spit them fire bars. But is nice that you said burn because I just took my kids not long ago to it like a few months ago, and I don't know, that track is kind of to put it, yeah, it's like it leaves the crowd in silence. It's a jaw-dropping moment of the show. Like burn is definitely something that is definitely a sort of, I don't know, it's like a gut punch, right?
Yeah, it's really good. All the lyrics, you could just tell that um she was just really going through it after her man cheated on her. It was crazy.
yeah, the way he kind of played it off like it just happened, and I was like, it's. I mean, that play has so many emotions and different feelings. I mean, definitely. I loved Washington on Your Side. Washington on Your Side was nice. Um, I like the other one I liked on there was What I Missed.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was pretty cool. Um, nah, great play, great play. I mean, the only musicality I like outside of Watch Hamilton was probably Wicked. Wicked, I saw Wicked twice. That was, it's not a bad story, but obviously Lynn's story is better than the Wicked story. Wicked just gets a new spin on the Wizard of Oz.
Hmm.
Tells the story. It tells the story of the good, basically the Wicked Witch of the West before she became that, and actually she wasn't a bad person. So it's kind of it's,
Yeah.
it's trying to unravel the whole mythos there. Basically, who's really the bad person in the story right now.
It's always really interesting when media takes something that we kind of knew and then shifts it and kind of gives villains their own origin story, but not like the villain, like not making them a villain, but making them more of like an anti-hero. It's always really cool.
So yeah, Wicked, I can't wait because I think they're gonna make like a film adaptation of it.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully it lives up to the live performance. I don't know if Hamilton will ever get that treatment other than the Disney Plus, recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess back to your artistry for a sec. So I actually asked my cousin to drop in because he's actually been on our podcast a few times. Q, you there, man? He might be on mute.
What's going
Hello,
on,
So
Q?
everybody.
What's
What
going
up? What
on,
up?
man?
you so
Hi.
I had Q drop by because like probably top three musical compasses for me: Novak, my cousin Q, and my wife. Like anything they're listening to, I gotta like reflect on. And then like Q was playing Fresh Faded with Rosalie in his ride one time, and I'm
Oh
like,
wow, thank
oh
you.
man, bro, you
Yeah.
vibing with this? I think this is like Rose's like second time she was ever in the studio, or like the second time you recorded, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was like the second time. Fresh Faded's it's my favorite Daywalkers project that I got to work on. It's so good.
Oh yeah, definitely love that. I was definitely like, I gotta get on the remake.
It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys talking about plays right now?
Yeah, we're just kind of like talking about we were talking about Hamilton just a moment ago, but I was actually reciting some of Rose's lyrics to her because when she wrote Fresh Faded and some of the
Mhm.
original Daywalker stuff, she was like 15 or 16. And
Oh wow.
I
Hmm.
I was trying to like pick apart her lyrics because like I can feel the emotion, I can feel the sadness, and like my brain was going in so many different directions, and maybe it was just I was projecting it what I was going on in life, but like
Mhm.
she kind of like dispelled the myth sometimes. Like sometimes it wasn't as tragic as it might have seemed, or maybe it
Mhm.
was. That's just another day in the life of a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it makes sense. I would say, like I guess in terms of musicality, Rosalie, I mean, who were your influences growing up? I mean, who would you say like you took a lot of your melody from in terms of when you're developing your own style and melody?
Uh, with melody, I'm not so sure, honestly. Um, I'm trying to think. I think just anything on the radio just made me kind of inspired from as of right now. I mean, it's such a tough question. I honestly can't remember. I did really when I was younger, I did really, really look up to Alicia Keys. Like I wanted to be Alicia Keys so badly. I'd see her like lay on the grand piano and sing like no, like she was amazing and that really made me want to do what I do. I also thought her melody writing was really, really good as a kid. Um, but yeah, it's a little different now that I'm older and I'm exploring new genres. I wish I knew what melodies really influenced me. Back then I kind of just listened to a lot of Alicia Keys and Fall Out Boy, interestingly.
I remember one of my guys was like saying, I think like her is sometimes like what you tap into when you're doing like hip hop tracks. Like I feel like there's an element of that. I don't know if you're necessarily trying to like mimic that or not, but like I like the her vibes. I think you mentioned to me before like Kehlani and Dean have been like some other influences coming up.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. I haven't listened to R&B music in a minute, like hip hop R&B, but oh my gosh, Kehlani was definitely a big inspiration for me when I was 15 and I was in that booth. I think she's an amazing singer. Her lyrics are great. Her melody writing, I think her melody and her album Sweet Sexy Savage, it was just a really great album. It always got me either in my feels or made me just want to have fun. And I think the thing with her melodies is that they're always really unique, but they're always super catchy. And I think that's what kind of inspired me in the booth. You're so right. Kaylani's a great example of what I aspired to be when I was 15. She's still really amazing. I like her a lot.
I guess Rose, like, do you feel like your melodies influenced by emotions more so? Like kind of like how you guys were contemplating like maybe moments in life you were at? Or I mean, I felt like women, you guys have a certain level of emotional intelligence, you guys tap in and go there, depending on what you guys are reading or feeling or kind of reading in the room. Do you feel like that's where maybe influenced by these other elements and albums and people? Or do you think your melody comes from a place like that?
Yeah, to add to that, I don't know if this is what Q is thinking about because my brain was going there. Like Rosalie, I know your fam, right? I know your mom's like super artistic with her photos, and I even know on your dad's side there's a lot of musicality going on there too, right?
Yes,
So is there like a
absolutely.
lot of that you've kind of been imprinted on without even realizing it?
Um, I think so. I mean, I think the biggest contributor to music in my life is my mom and my dad, for sure, without a doubt. My mom would play MTV um all the time when I was a little kid, so I would just watch all the music videos that would come up, and I would just start singing. My mom really encouraged me to sing a lot when I was a kid because she didn't want me to be afraid of like singing and just doing normal everyday things. So if I was ever scared, she'd be like, "No, Ellie, like keep going." And my dad always really loved to hear me sing. He would play a lot of CDs in the car whenever we would go pick up my mom, and that was a lot of pop punk stuff that I still really like today, like Yellow Card and Panic! At the Disco's first album. So I would sing all of those lyrics so much as a kid. I was either screeching whatever was on TV on MTV or whatever was on my dad's CDs. So it's all thanks to them.
That's dope. You just took me back to a memory where it's a little bit of an overshare, but I think one of our reunions, I was like, "Hey, Rosalie, come on, let's do a little B.O.B. airplanes." Or was it that, or was it Glorious? It might have been Glorious. I don't know. There's a couple times that I was
It
like,
was
"Hey,
glorious, but I
yo,"
still love airplane.
I can imagine with the the Hayley the Hayley flowers you were sharing earlier. I mean,
Hmm.
that's
Uh,
just
you guys gotta be thinking back too. When I did see Hamilton here, we had Wayne Brady as Aaron Burr. That was hilarious.
did you see that when he performed
Yeah,
as Aaron Burr?
he fell on stage that night.
Bro, somebody was
Oh
telling me that
no.
he would like forget his lyrics and stuff like that too sometimes.
He stood on top of the table and he basically went blank and then fell. And I was like, did Wayne Brady just fall on the table? And he played it off real quick.
It was
We
part of the
thought
act.
part of the act, yeah. And people were like cheering, like he forgot the words to the room where it happens. And I was, that's
Bro.
like the song, for Aaron Burr. So when he went blank for a minute, you could tell like he's like, he just smiled at the crowd. Some women cheered. I was like, he forgot the words. But yeah, he was. It was short lived. We saw he was. We didn't know he was going to be performing, so we went to that. We went that night, and he showed up, and I was like, no, 'cause we were just making fun of like the whole Dave Chappelle thing, and we look on stage as Wayne Brady. I'm like, wow, this is creepy. So yeah, I think he did it. I think he did it for like about maybe 2 weeks, and he got off. He got off real quick, and they brought back the Aaron Burr Chicago. So it was a quick in and out.
So funny.
Yeah, so you were talking about Fallout Boy. I mean, so yeah, Fallout Boy writes pretty well. I mean, I will
They
say
do.
I haven't heard a bad album, and you start thinking in terms of like hip hop samples everybody, or there's musicality across all the different genres and everything. So yeah, so you say you started to explore different genres. I mean, right now, what would you say like been your favorite genre so far? You started to explore and get to know a little bit more.
Um, I think it's a good 50-50 with punk music and indie garage rock. Kind of like I was mentioning, the Strokes are really good in like early Arctic Monkeys stuff, and I've been kind of inspired by them with my music recently. Um, but in terms of punk, I've been really liking the Riot Girl era of music. So that would be Bikini Kill and all that good stuff. Just I don't know if I can necessarily write like that, but I really like women in that movement, what they stood for and what they brought into music. It's really cool.
Yeah, I can see that. You're talking about like Bratmobile and everything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So actually why I know that, but I got 11-year-old, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, I would say like, generationally, you think about, like the kids in grammar school today are more Riot Girl than anything else. And it's, like no sage and like Q, it's like a mixture of that, and then you throw Taylor Swift on top of it. And then you got Billie Eilish in the background scaring everybody. So that's
Yeah,
pretty much that's pretty much what's going on musically, like in my house. Like, I won't say it's emo. Like Billy feels more emo than anything else.
I agree.
It's it's almost like maybe today I go outside, maybe I won't, maybe I just be sad. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I can't listen to her when I drive. I tell my kid, put your headphones on. Seriously, Billie Eilish is making me feel down right now. I can't listen to what she's singing about.
She's sad all the time. She's a sad girl with her music, but it's always really good. I also think Olivia Rodrigo has done a lot of really great stuff for younger kids exploring like new genres. I know that Olivia Rodrigo specifically, she would listen to like the White Stripes and Veruca Salt, which is all alternative rock music, and you kind of see that with her new music now. So it's cool that alternative music is coming to the mainstream because of that. So I think that's awesome.
Yo, Olivia, she's having a moment, man.
She
Like
is.
she's
She's
just like
always
killing
is the
it.
moment.
So they'll dig this, like again, like my last fanboy pride here. I really apologize, but the first time you were actually on the mic, and again, I'm not sure if I'm overselling the story because like I know you've been writing a bunch before you met up with us Daywalkers, right? But the bar that stuck to me, so basically, blinded by my hopes and dreams, couldn't see in front of me. Told me stop, but I said go deeper into the unknown. Grab on tight, hold on to me, pull me into your gravity. If only I could see your spark, deeper driving in the dark. Now, you could not tell me a 15-year-old Rose on the mic for the first time in the studio is like writing something like that. And please don't tell me it's just about like somebody that made fun of you or something at school. I'm like, what? This is some darkness going on. I don't know. Do you feel like, I don't know if old soul's the way to put it, but like I don't think you were like trying to mimic darkness. I feel like there's something deep going on.
I wish there was something deep. I think I was just having a moment that, like, let me just channel. If I was, I think what I liked to do a lot when I was younger and I didn't have a lot, I was 15. I didn't have a lot to write about. So I would do what I would do, especially when I was first starting off with Daywalkers, I would like try to get into the mindset of someone who wasn't me. And I would try to write about that. So when I wrote
I
that,
dig
I
that.
was
I
like,
dig that.
yeah, thanks. So when I was 15, I was like, what if I was like this, like, I think I wanted to be, in my head, I wanted to be like an artist of some sort that wasn't like that wasn't so sure of themselves. And I guess that's kind of me now. I guess I kind of wrote that about me and myself. 15-year-old me wrote about 21-year-old me, which is kind of crazy. Um, but I had to kind of think of scenarios to put myself in because I didn't have a lot to really vent about at that age. I feel like now I do. But that is kind of crazy. I remember the first time I actually had to drive in the dark when I had my license. I thought about what I wrote. I was like, "Oh my gosh, driving in the dark is actually a lot scarier than what I thought it
Yes.
was." I felt like I
Then
was
that's the
gonna
name of the
die.
track. And that's the name of the track. And I appreciate you kind of like saying it's not always like that emotional or that controversial what you're writing. Like sometimes it's just a page out of your diary, right? And then, you
Mhm.
forget about it the next day. But I just love that about rap and hip hop and just writing in general. Like
Yes.
sometimes it is sort of like a slice of life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's cool how I was able to write about something I'd be feeling like years from now. And I didn't even know what that felt like, but I think I captured it pretty well.
I think so.
Like it's like reincarnation pretty much of some of those tracks. You think about like, like I didn't realize that time frame was 15-year-old Rosalie compared to today with today with the new music. But that 15-year-old basically was writing from a process where like you write those things like you've been here before. Or who are you really basically? Because I didn't interpret that way until you just mentioned. I'm like, wow, that is pretty interesting because
Yeah.
most 15-year-olds get on the track at that point in time, and it's party music. There was no party in the music. There was, you know what I'm saying. You're trying to unravel what's going on here. Tell me, what are you feeling right now? So I totally understand it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think again, like I'm always kind of like disarmed again. Like Rosalie is definitely like small in stature, and then the voice it definitely is
Oh, thank
sending me
you.
different signals. But then when I hear the lyrics, I'm like, oh wait a minute, where am I supposed to go? So I know you've covered some tracks like maybe on like your YouTube a while ago or on your IG.
hmm
I'm actually curious, Q, like if there's a track you thought that Rosalie should cover, is there anything that comes to mind? I know Novak was sort of talking about like Hamilton songs.
Mm. Um,
I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
I mean, I could see where she's coming from a couple, honorable mentions or how kind of like the Alicia Keys. I mean, when the faded track, like I was telling you, like probably not a popular statement right now, but like how I would say like the remix, like I would just be on my P Diddy shit and I would take take Drake's Fireworks and blend
Oh.
that and cross over that. Kind of like if I had to say like a time period template that I think your vocals could kind of fit in on, it's like maybe like anywhere between like what is that album? I think it's either Take Care, I think it was for Drake. Kind of like how it was like that melodic kind of vibe, or kind of like how you're talking about like emo music, maybe some type of EDM type of track
Oh,
that
that's
might be a
cool.
little bit more up tempo that could probably put you in another. Yeah, so it would have been like Take Care, like that album. How it was kind of like mellow, like with him and Rihanna doing a lot of duets and stuff, like kind of that vibe. Or kind of get that 808s, heartbeats, kind of boom bap behind it, and then like I was saying, like an EDM track that's a little bit more up tempo that can probably be a little blend because I mean I think that's the like kind of the genres I think you could touch that just may diversify your portfolio. But
Not just you.
yeah, I mean I don't think especially hearing some of the lyrics that you're dropping, like definitely feel like there's a deeper meaning behind some of it. Um, but that if I had to do that remix track, that's how I would take that faded and then blend that over with fireworks and then uh, just having that some type of piano or some type of melodic sound behind your voice has been good, and I feel like that's where you kind of strike a chord for me from the tracks I've heard you play on.
Oh, thank you
Um,
so much.
no problem. I also think that definitely got to do a little bit more research on some of the stuff you guys are working on or have done. That might be a vibe check, but I think right now, especially depending on how we look at music right now, it, I guess it's not as diverse, but I think my ear has changed a little bit too. Where I sent No Sage, an artist that is a Christian rapper. He's like a he's like a designer mixed in with like a punk rock
Alex Jean,
um
right?
mhm, kind of
Oh,
vibe.
Alex
Like
G.
Yeah, I like
mhm,
him.
yeah, like some of the songs that he's put out, like um I kind of like how he's kind of being transverse where he's taking some samplings off of like some songs we know and kind of playing into that lane of like creating his own lane because it's like it kind of reminds me of almost like I said, designer with a pop smoke with a like a Christian rapper, and then he's able to just traverse over some different things. Because when he did a Michael Jackson reference track for one of his songs, I was like, oh damn, he was ripping. I don't know if it was him or whoever was ripping electric guitar on there. Like I think with your voice and your cadence, like you could blend into like some those type of songs that have that gift of having some stronger stuff. Like I said, with the piano was faded, and maybe if you find a track that you could do something with more like drums or more like electric guitar, that could probably give you a different lane to get into too in the future. That'll be an interesting project to see you on.
Yeah, thank you. Alex G's a really good artist. A lot of my friends really like him, and I listened to a few of his songs. He's really good. Um, I have been playing more songs with more like that are more upbeat, with electric guitars and like a really cool with really cool drums. But we haven't really put anything out yet for me and my band. We're trying right now. I was supposed to record today actually, but I have a cold, so I can't really sing the best at the moment. But it should come out soon.
Well, hey, that's a dope teaser. I know we're rounding out the hour and still would love to chat with you as long as you can, but if you have to drop out soon, totally understood. Like where Q is going with that too is that when he was playing Fresh Faded for me in his wit with his dope sound system, he's like, hey, it would be nice with like the layer of that fireworks song from Drake. And then I could hear what he was talking about. And like obviously Drake is tapped into his different caverns too, and into his different musical chakras, as it will. Not necessarily always spitting the bars, but um, on the melody scene of things.
You got me thinking. I would love to hear like Q mentioned that 808 sound, 808s and heartbreaks. You imagine Rosalie hitting RoboCop. That would be incredible. You know, because you think about you got a rap artist who really can't sing, trying to harmonize, sing on the song. You want an actual singer to come on and actually take care of that. Or you think about like the way Ye was trying to sing on RoboCop and a couple other songs on 808s. He tried, but he's still doing a lot of synthesizer at that point in time. Now, Rosalie, if you listen to that album, you actually did like RoboCop or Pinocchio or one of those songs. Oh my God, I mean, it would sound incredible.
You got my vote for RoboCop. That's one of my jams right there. So
Man,
many reasons.
I love RoboCop Q, man. That's one of those songs you put on in the car, man, and just let it marinate.
Definitely gotta let it play.
Well, thank you. I definitely have to take a listen then.
Yeah, RoboCop is nice. It's no accident that Ye's dropping that new album by this Friday, allegedly.
Nah, it
So
ain't coming.
no, you don't think so?
It ain't coming, man. You hit midnight. You know what? He set me off too many times. I have no faith the album's coming on Friday. Everybody's gonna light candles and sit by their Spotify and sit by YouTube, and he's gonna release one song and he's gonna go back to sleep.
Damn, that sounds like some Jay Electronica situation. Like, it ain't never coming. We
No,
ain't get,
never. We don't
we
even
ain't getting
think.
detox either.
We don't even think
Mm.
Jay's an artist anymore. He had transitioned to hanging out with the Illuminati every afternoon or something.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild.
I guess I got a
Um,
sidebar question for Rose real quick, like
yeah,
before
go
we
for
let
it.
you go.
Oh, thank you.
Like, is there a project or like any type of music you won't do? Like, I mean, I know it's like always like you want to take on projects or something that people think that might be your lane or influence you to try to do. But has there any been some projects you ever denied? Because I mean, it's like kind of like nowadays people, it's kind of player's choice now. It's like, oh, I might play for the Cavs for these next 2 years, but then I'm going to go to Miami, then I'm going to go to LA, then I'm going to go to Golden State. So I mean, I guess for you, like, do you always want to exercise your options, or do you want to just play towards your strength, or just deny? The original question is denying like projects you don't want to do.
Um, I feel like I've been denying a few projects recently just because of school. I've been really stressed out, and I kind of feel like I've been a bit. I feel like melody writing has just been so hard, and I don't know if I could ever really get back into it. It's just, I don't know, kind of like writer's block, but for artists. Um, I don't know if there's anything I wouldn't necessarily do. I mean, I do like meeting new people. I like listening to new sounds. I mean, even if it's I mean, I don't really listen to country music too often, but if I think something sounds good and I could come up with a melody, I'd be like, oh yeah, like, I'll see what I can do here. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I'd reject anything. The only reason why I would reject something is because I'm really stressed out. And I feel like that's been happening
Mm-hmm.
with me a lot recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take that mental health day sometimes. I believe.
Yeah. No, that's an honest question. Like, I really appreciate you sharing the space with us today. And I almost like have feel bad and selfish that, you're not recording today, but I know you're a little under the weather. So I can't wait for the
Thank
newest
you.
stuff that you got going,
Thank
once
you.
school's out the way. Um, but yeah, I know you're a constant learner. So, I know you're gonna like give it your all no matter what's going on. I definitely wanted to take a sidestep real quick and shout out Q. It's actually his birthday. So we
Oh,
wanted to
happy
say
birthday,
Happy
thanks
birthday,
for
bro.
Q.
dialing in, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Happy
No
birthday.
problem. I'm out here working. DMV is like, we only taking one shot of this picture. Now need to update your license. I'm like, all right, bet. Let's do this.
Dig it, dig it. That's what you got to do. Has to be done. So
Mm-hmm.
you always stay clean cut like the photo, man.
I
You going with the
mean,
bun? You going with the bun today? What we doing?
I did go in with the bun, but they ain't catch her because like it was funny because my brother is like he's like, man, he's like, I was mad at the lady because she told me to put my chin down and it looked like I got three chins. I was like, I'm like, I'm glad I got a decent beard, so that didn't show. But I was like, I look like I got like my wavy game going. Like I'm like low cut, but it's like I could have went in there with a high top. Or I could have came in there with a lion's mane, but I'm like, I don't want to get called out because every time I slick my hair down or something, it's always some door guys like, "What happened, dog? This dude in this picture has a whole bunch of hair." I'm like, "It's still there, bro." Like, I'm like, I'm still outside. Like, don't give me like a good 4 months. And I'll bring it back. But like, nah, they didn't get the man bun in this shot. So I look real slick and clean. But I did this picture this morning where I got a transition like 5 different looks on me that look decent, but from license. But It's been interesting. But then I got mad because I realized I was talking to my guy. He's like, "Oh, why didn't you get a real ID?" I'm like, "Damn," because he's like, "The real ID lasts for 10 years." I'm like, "They didn't offer me the real ID. They just
Mhm.
gave me a regular one for 4 years." I was kind of mad. So it's whatever though.
That I
But
love that. No, that's a
thanks for
good
the
story because like I wonder if the time capsule, if more years from now when we have digital licenses, if we'll be able to swap out our photos or our avatars with man buns or beards,
It's a
you
good
know.
point.
Depending.
Technology is scary. AI is
Yeah.
winning.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you could do all types of a man bun with AI right now. You know,
Yeah. Are y'all even real? Who am I talking to? Where am I?
Those statements are all so valid. You just never know.
For sure. So yeah, Rosalie. So I know maybe Rosalie is sort of like a playoff of your name, your government name, but like where's the rose comes from? Because like I'm not sure if it's just the image of the rose, like what made you kind of adopt that as your moniker?
I mean, I I was 15 at the time, and I liked the fact that like different colored roses can mean different things. And at that time, I still didn't really know
Yeah,
what genre of music I wanted to do, and I thought it just sounded
right.
like something that would fit any sort of genre. Um, and I still feel that way today. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my name, but I don't know. That is what I thought about when I made it, though.
No, that's a good comparison because I think everyone thinks about the romantic aspect of roses, and I love how Outcast flipped roses on its head, but just the idea of different colored roses, like meaning different things. Yeah, that's definitely some imagery that sticks with you. I don't think I always like to think about that. Like what you have, like obviously the funeral roses or like the friendship roses or the hope ones. Spectrum is endless, I would say. Oh, we got a dropout. Maybe she got a little. Oh, we back. We back.
I'm so sorry about that, guys.
No, it's cool. It's cool. You just dropped out for a second.
Yeah, roses do mean different things, and I think that that's pretty cool to represent through my music because I feel like I like to explore different types of genres, types of
Love it.
feelings.
Love it.
Nice to meet you,
Cool, cool. So yeah, we'll just close it out because I know that Novak's got to get running.
as do I. So I really
Yeah,
appreciated being here. It was really sweet of you, No Sage, to invite me here today, and I was just happy to discuss music with you guys. It was really fun.
no problem. So yeah, like I appreciate you vibing. I appreciate you sharing, and then I just appreciate you pushing forward. So just keep it going, and listen to us on anywhere that the podcasts are. Novak usually ends the show with "Go out and listen to something dope today." So check out that Bamfred album, After
Yes,
Laughter.
please stream on all streaming platforms.
Nice.
All right,
All right. Thanks, man.
thank
Take
you.
care.
Too.